Welcome to the channel where we understand great works, not just read them. Today we enter the heart of ancient Thebes. It all begins on a heavy, suffocating day. The city doesn't smell of life, but of death and incense. A black plague is mowing people down, and the survivors are dragging themselves with their last strength to the palace of their king. At the head of the people stands an old priest who waits for only one man. The palace gates open, and Oedipus emerges. He doesn't look like a man under pressure. He radiates power and self-confidence. Years ago, he solved the unsolvable, the riddle of the Sphinx, and thereby became the owner of the crown and Queen Jocasta's heart. The people see him not just as a king, but as a demigod. Oedipus calls them his children and promises a solution. He sends his son-in-law Creon to the oracle of Apollo at Delphi to find out how to stop this curse. Creon arrives with news that ripples through the crowd. The gods say that Thebes is sick because a stain is hidden within it, the murderer of the old king, Laius. Until that blood is avenged by exile or death, death will continue to rule. Oedipus, in his characteristic zeal for justice, immediately begins an investigation. He asks where Laius was killed, and Creon explains that the king went on a pilgrimage and never returned. The only surviving witness, a servant, claimed in fear that they were attacked by many robbers. Oedipus swears before everyone that he will find that man, saying ironically, "I will seek him as if he were my own father." He casts a curse upon the murderer. Let no one give him bread. Let no one speak to him. Let him be driven from every home. To speed up the investigation, Oedipus summons the blind prophet Tiresias. This is the first moment where the truth begins to break through the surface. Tiresias enters terrified, knowing what lies behind the curtain of time. "Let me go home," he begs Oedipus, but the king interprets this as betrayal. A brutal argument begins. Oedipus insults the old man as a false prophet and a blind man, and Tiresias, provoked, throws the truth at him like a knife. "You are the murderer you seek. You live in the greatest shame with your loved ones." Oedipus is convinced that Creon and Tiresias are plotting to steal his crown. Tiresias leaves with a terrifying prophecy that by the end of the day, Oedipus will be blind, homeless, and that it will turn out he is a brother to his children and a son to his wife. Jocasta appears to calm Oedipus and Creon. She is a dignified queen who does not believe in magic and prophecies. To comfort her husband, she tells him that prophecies are pure invention. "Laius was told that his son would kill him," she recounts, "but we threw the baby into the mountains with pierced feet, and Laius was killed by strangers at a crossroads with 3 roads." As soon as Oedipus hears the word crossroads, his face turns pale. He remembers his youth in Corinth, the drunken guest who told him he was a foundling, and the prophecy in Delphi that predicted he would kill his father and sleep with his mother. Fleeing from Corinth to protect those he considered parents, at a crossroads in a rage, he killed an old man who blocked his path. Now Oedipus fears that the old man was Laius. In this moment of uncertainty, a messenger arrives from Corinth. King Polybus is dead. "Oedipus, you are called to be the new king." Jocasta exults. "See, Polybus died of old age, not by your hand. The prophecies are dead." But Oedipus still fears his mother, Merope. The messenger, wanting to calm him, reveals the biggest secret. "Fear not, Polybus was not your father. I personally received you as a baby with pierced feet from a shepherd on Mount Cithaeron and took you to Polybus because he had no children." At that moment, Jocasta feels the ground slipping from under her feet. She connects the pierced feet with her abandoned baby. She realizes that her husband is her son. She begs Oedipus to stop, but he, thinking she is ashamed of his origin, refuses her. Jocasta flees into the palace with a cry that will be her last. Oedipus summons Laius's old shepherd, the same one who survived the attack at the crossroads. He is a broken old man who has carried the secret for decades. Seeing the messenger from Corinth, he trembles with fear. Oedipus orders his hands to be tied and threatens him with death. Finally, the shepherd speaks. The child was from Laius and Jocasta. The queen gave him to me to kill so the prophecy wouldn't be fulfilled, but I felt pity. I gave him to this man from Corinth, thinking I would save him by having him taken far away. Now the truth is naked and brutal. Oedipus screams with a sound that is not human. Everything he did to escape fate led him directly into its embrace. He rushes to the palace to see and confront Jocasta. But when he breaks down the bedroom door, he finds her already dead. She has hanged herself with her own belt. Seeing her body, Oedipus falls into total despair. He removes the golden pins from her clothing and begins to plunge them into his own eyes. I no longer want to see my shame. These eyes do not deserve to see my children or the light I have defiled. He shouts while blood pours down his face. When the palace opens again, a man who is no longer a king emerges before the people. Oedipus is blind and broken. He does not ask for death is too easy a punishment. He asks for exile to the mountain where he was supposed to die as a baby. The most poignant scene is his farewell to his daughters, Antigone and 𝐼𝐞𝐥𝐸. He strokes their heads with his blind hands, weeping over their future, which is forever destroyed by his sin. The drama ends with Oedipus departing into eternal darkness, and the citizens of Thebes look at him and learn the harshest lesson. Never count a human life happy until it has passed its final day, for fate can knock you from the top of the world into the deepest hell in a single moment. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts in a comment. Close the book, but keep your mind open. Understanding is just the beginning. See you in the next great work.